Hey everybody, Davies Tallow here with another Rocky Mountain Rankings. And today, well, before I get started into that, apologies for not doing more shows. Though I did one recently, uh, ranking the songs of Elton John's Yellow Brick Road, or Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. Great album. If you've never heard it, check it out. Check out the video, please. And please subscribe, like the video, hit the notification bell, and leave your own rankings or your own good comment. Rude, obnoxious, uh, ignorant comments will be deleted. They have no place. If you want to be a little bit critical of me, on my choices, that's fine, as long as you keep it nice. So anyway, today we're going to be doing something I kind of surprised that I haven't done yet. I think it was listening to Pete Pardo, and they mentioned this band ELO, one of my all-time favorite bands, and something to do with talking about the cover or something. I'm like, you know what? I have not done a ranking of ELO's album art, cover art. So today, that's what we're going to do, if you hadn't already guessed. Probably saying, duh, Davies, that's in the title, man. Duh. I'm going to mention as many times as I want. Nah, 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 nah. So anyway, I'm not going to include certain albums here. Let me go back to. I'm not going to include Zoom, because I haven't got that album, and it's okay, but I haven't got it. I'm not going to include Jeff Lindsay, Alone in the Universe and From Out of Nowhere. And I'm not going to include Xanadu, which it is officially an ELO album, even though it's got Olivia Newton-John on it, and it's a soundtrack album. I don't have it. I've heard some of the songs off it. I'm just not into that album. So I'm not going to include that. So there's going to be 11 albums included in this. And if you don't like it, tough. So, but anyway. For those who don't know, I start with my least favorite and work out to my absolutely favorite. Just because it's my least favorite doesn't mean I loathe it. But in this case, I might get a little bit critical because we're dealing with album art. We're not dealing with the music. The music in all these albums is absolutely fantastic. Even the weak ones, I love all of ELO. Let's put it that way. I got started with ELO back in, I believe, 79, 78, 79. Probably similar. No, yeah, because I'd taken a certain album to my high school class, but we'll get into that later. So right now we're going to start out with number 11, 1-1, two ones together. An album, let's see, get back to where I was supposed to be here. That one that was released March 3rd, 1986, and was considered the last official ELO album. That's Balance of Power. Yeah, kind of plain Jane. I mean, you got what is supposed to be an E. I guess this long yellow slant here, if I can get the glare out of it, it's supposed to be an L, and then of course O. The O is the only thing that looks like a legit letter here. Same on the back. Even on inside. What's behind the CD? I can't remember. Oh. Pictures of Bev Bevan, Jeff Lynne, and Richard Tandy. The only original members left. Of course, Richard Tandy is really not an original member. Bev Bevan and Jeff Lynne are. So, but yeah, balance of power. I guess that's supposed to be balance. I guess I don't know. It could have been a lot better. So yeah, this is going to be my absolutely least favorite. Though this album, I really, really enjoy. I know Jeff Lynne was saying that when they were doing this album, he wanted to get away from the orchestral stuff. I want to do more of a rock-oriented, with keyboards and stuff more, than having the orchestral, backing. A lot of great songs on here. A lot of, of course, a lot of people don't like this album because it's not the classic sound. No, but you can't always have the classic sound. So anyway, that's my That's my number 11. Balance of Power. 2 Plain Jane for me. Okay. On to number 10. Okay, number 10 was released in November 1973. We're going back almost to the beginning. Album that originally had a different, the cover today on is vastly different. I don't know if this was redone. Okay, all right. Looks like originally it was 2 covers. But anyway, the album is On the Third Day. This is the U.S. cover. I guess the UK cover had Jeff Lynne in a square picture frame looking down on the earth. If I had that cover on this one, that probably would have been my number 11, because I do not like that cover of Jeff looking down on the earth like this. And it's kind of a blurry picture of Jeff. I'm like, really? You couldn't have made it more clear? But anyway, this, this is, I could probably put this at my number 11, but my number 11 was just, that's more plain Jane. But this, 7 guys showing their belly buttons. No, I'm sorry. Now, with 7 girls showing their belly buttons, that'd be a different story. I'm sorry, but no. It just, in reality, you can't, either one is bad. Either cover is bad, but this one, just a tad better than Balance of Power, but still bad. But it had the nice price. See that? The nice price. So, even though remember if I bought this at the record store or ordered this. I can't remember. I don't know. That's my number 10. Oh, and of course, the music on it's just fantastic, of course. So, anyway, on to number 9. Okay. Number 9, released December 3rd, 1971. Going all the way back to the beginning. This album was recorded from July 1970 to June 1971. Almost a whole year. Actually, a whole year. Of course, that's going to be the very first album, YOLO, or as I got on the spine here, I don't know if you can hear that, No Answer. Officially, it's just called Electric Light Orchestra. The title of No Answer it was a misunderstood phone message made by United Artists Records executive asking about the album name. The caller, having failed to reach the YOLO contact, wrote down No Answer. It was no. So, and this was misconstrued as the title of the album. I'm sorry, but back then, that would be kind of a strange album. Well, maybe not. Of course, it was end of the 1960s, beginning of the 1970s, so anything could have been, perceived as sure, that's weird, but yeah, it works. But anyway, the artwork, well, the photograph, okay, but a light bulb in the middle of, what was this? I don't think it says, oh, okay, the original album art was designed by Hypnosis. Banqueting House in Whitehall. Okay. Whatever. Hypnosis, they can do great album covers, but they also can do really bad ones. And this one, though not terrible, is just not my favorite. Of course, there's the band at the time, Bev Bevan, Jeff Lynne, and Roy Wood. This is Roy right here on the cello. Of course, that lineup would last this album, and Roy would he'd be gone. Of course, he'd be saying, "Well, I don't know how ELO is going to go on without me." Well, it did. Sorry, Roy. You should have stuck around. So anyway, that's my number 9. Electric Light Orchestra or Electric Light Orchestra, No Answer, whichever. So anyway, on to number 8. Okay. Here we go with another album that has 2 different album covers. There's the UK cover and I believe the US cover. I don't understand why that happens. Is like the people here in the United States fickle or opposite? Well, people say at the record producers or the record company going, well, That's the UK version. We can't have that on our album over here in the United States. We have certain tastes and to uphold, and vice versa. I don't understand it. I don't. I can see if it was uh, an obscene cover, and another country doing that, and that's happened. That has happened. Prime example, the Scorpions album Virgin Killer. The original album had a preteen girl naked on the front of it with a strategically placed shattering, I don't want to say one word, but it was like it was a picture, and it'd been the glass on the front of the picture had been broken at a strategic point, so to cover up the girl's unmentionables. Of course, I believe the U.S. or maybe the rest of the world, I can't remember for sure, had the band on the cover. Of course, the band's like, well, why is the rest of the world so fickle? Of course, nowadays, the band's come out and said, well, now that we think about it, it's a very bad taste. Though you can still, from what I understand, find albums of the Virgin Killer with that album cover. Yeah, why you'd want it, I have no idea. They could have come out with something different, but in that case, I can see coming up with an alternative cover. But this one, I don't understand. The album, of course, it's ELO2. This is the U.S. album cover. Mountains, and with of course, the light bulb going across the sky with ELO Electric Light Orchestra 2 and cursive, I guess it's supposed to be like a cloud. The UK version was pretty much the same, though it had more of a cartoonish light bulb higher up in the sky. Above it, I guess a comet or meteor or something, and then there's stars and stuff. I prefer this one. The UK cover is too cartoonish for me. Though, again, I could have done better. A lot better. There's the back. I guess it's supposed to be a couple planets. Maybe supposed to be on a different planet. Maybe it's this light ball supposed to be a spaceship. Who knows? I guess it could be a kind of a spaceship inside of a light bulb. Who knows? Of course, there's the band on the back. I think it's Michael D. Albuquerque, Richard Tandy, Jeff Lynne, Michael Edwards, Bev Bevan, and who else was on this? Probably Wolf Gibson, and Michael Edwards, Colin Walker, Roy Wood played bass and cello on tracks 1 and 4, so he still had some. He was still present a little bit on this. Roy Wood was, but yeah, okay, but definitely better to come. So that's my number 8. On to number 7. Okay. Now, when I did my album rankings for the music, I believe last year or the year before, whatever, this, I believe, was my second number 2 album But here it is number 7, and that is released July 31st, 1981. That is Time. Album's cover's okay. There's the back. But it could have been a little bit better. I don't know. Maybe not. But I do love this music. This one of my all-time favorite albums. Like I said, it was just number 2 in my ranking of music portion. Not every song except for one on here is absolutely solid. Just awesome. But again, we're not here for the music. We're here for the album cover. Not bad, but still not 100% good. So that is my number 7. On to number 6. Okay, number 6. An album where they started to transition a little bit more into more of a poppier type music, less orchestral sounds. But anyway, released October 1976. A new world record. Now, I know a lot of people deem that that on the front is a spaceship. But I don't. Well, maybe it is. I don't think it is. But anyway, this is before the Out of the Blue album. So, decent. I know if you notice, you look at the city at the bottom, you can tell it's kind of a mirror image where you put a stick of a mirror up, and then you have somebody's face, you can. So down at the bottom there, it's a mirror. If you got 2 buildings the same, or buildings the same on both sides, and one central building that's not the same, well, really not the same, but of course there's the back. I don't know what the stars signify. I don't know unless it's the band members. I don't know. But okay, decent album cover, great album, solid music on this. Of course, every Electric Light Orchestra album is solid musically. Some are a little bit more stronger than others. So anyway, that's my number 6. Okay, reached the top 5 at 5. This next album, I get to the right screen here. What the heck? It won't go. Can't reach this page. Oh, don't you love the internet when it won't work, right? Oh, good grief. Well, I think my internet has gone down. Okay, well, yeah. Guess we won't get the details, but anyway. Number 5, this little gem right here, El Dorado. Again, solid album. Good album cover. But at the same time, I would like to ask Jeff or whoever chose this album cover, this particular picture, what's the Wizard of Oz got to do with El Dorado? I mean, the witch reaching for the ruby slippers, the ruby slippers. I gotta have the slippers, yes. What's that got to do with El Dorado? Yeah, especially a symphony by the Electric Light Orchestra. Fantastic album, but good album cover, but still not great. And like I said, I'd like to know why that particular picture. I really would. So anyway, that's my number 5. Number 4. Really getting into the meat. And number 4 is I don't have a prop. It's upstairs, and I did not want to go upstairs. I get all my vinyl. I don't have this on CD. All my vinyl is upstairs. I've still got to bring it down. I got a lot of my stuff down here, but I still got to get that down. And vinyl is a lot heavier than CDs. So anyway, I wish you know what? I'll be right back. I'm going to go get it. I'll be right back. Okay. Got off my lazy butt and went and got it. The thing is, I have to go unlock doors and go upstairs, and I just didn't want to do that tonight for some reason, but heck with it. And meanwhile, my internet came right back up. I rarely lose my internet anymore because I'm on fiber optic, which is excellent. If you ever get a chance to do fiber optic, do it. It's just fantastic. In fact, especially when they offer 1,000 megabytes per second for $65. I was paying way more for a lot less before that. So, but now that we got competition, the provider, which will remain nameless, is starting up their service, though they're not offering 1,000 megabytes yet. They got a ways to go to do that. So anyway, released June 1st, 1979. This little gem right here, Discovery. Or gatefold. Inner sleeve. Great album cover. Of course, the music, on the other hand, a lot of people didn't like this album when it came out because it was too disco-y. I think I love the music. I mean, it's fantastic. Though I can see where they're coming from it is disco-y. But that's the way things were back in 78, 79, into the 80s. So, who did the cover here? I think it says, let's see, the album does not feature their strings. Yeah, it doesn't say. But anyway, great cover. Though the best is yet to come. That is my number 4. Okay. On to number 3. Okay, released September 1st, 1975. Another fantastic album. That is Face the Music. Oh, baby. You want to be on the show? Like, yeah. Bella, she wants to be on the show. What? Oh, yeah? You like that? You like that album cover? She says she likes the album cover. Come here. I'll be done in a few minutes. Okay. I love my cat. She's so sweet. You're so sweet. Yes, you are. So anyway, fantastic album cover. It is. It conveys what this album is about. I love the way they do the E and have electric or electric and then the L right here in the middle with light and then orchestra, an O with a chair, with electric chair. Just simple but conveys what this album is about. Of course, the back is just, plain Jane, basically. Of course, the music, just fantastic. Starts off with Fire on High. I just love that song. The whole thing is great, the whole album. So, but the cover, fantastic, but still not the best. Still not the best. Almost to the best here. So, okay. Now, on album covers, they say the album art is important, and it is. I love album covers that have a lot going on because you can sit there and stare at it, you can look at it, and it seems like every time you look at it, especially where there's a lot of stuff going on in it, you always find something that you've never noticed before. That's the case with this album. There's a lot going on in it. Released June 24th, 1983. That is Secret Messages. I don't see that right there. A lot going on. A lot of different people. Of course, you got a naked woman there in the front. Or you got a guy with the spaceship on his belt right there. A belt ship. Well, no, it's not the spaceship, but it's the ELO logo. But it's from the center of the spaceship. Got cooling towers, nuclear cooling towers in the background. People from the past. Got a deer, big old, well, probably get an elk in the background. A lot of different things going on. People in windows. There's the back. And from what I understand, originally this was going to be a concept album, and it was supposed to be a double album. And I don't understand why the record company said no, especially after the big success Out of the Blue was. But they said, no, we're not going to do a double album. So it came out single. But I just love the cover. The album itself, as far as I'm concerned, is strong. Great music. Uh, Less orchestral back, though there is still some there. And it's funny, the secret message was, as it suggested, is littered with hidden messages in the form of masking. Some obvious and others less so, and Jeff's always done that. Jeff's always done that. I'm listening to, I think, Fire and High. I mean, there's a lot of backmasking on there. Jeff's second tongue-in-cheek response to allegations of hidden satanic messages, of course, by Christian fundamentalists, and I don't know. It's just, oh yeah, it says here during the intro to Fire and High track, which is off the face of the music. I just, Bella, what are you doing? Somebody does something strange on that record album, and especially the rock and roll album, and it's got to be satanic. But anyway, the album cover is definitely not that. I just love it. I just love this album cover. Just fantastic. Anything else here? No. So anyway, that's my number 2. Now, if you're an ELO fan, you know what my number 1 is. And if you've watched my previous ranking albums of Electric Light Orchestra, the music, you'll know this is also my number 1 on that. I think. But anyway, I might be wrong. Was it number 1? I'm pretty sure it was. But anyway, it's number 1 here for sure. Released October 28, 1977. The very first Electric Light Orchestra album I bought. And I bought this on vinyl. I should have brought the vinyl down because you can see how well worn the cover is. Out of the Blue. And this is, Pete Pardo was talking about this the other night. And that's what got me thinking about doing ranking the album covers. He bought this album because what kid doesn't like spaceships? I know I did. Pete does. And there's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Simple but fantastic. Inner gatefold. Awesome. Love it. It just, I would sit there and listen to music and stare at these all the time. Just thinking, God, that would be so neat to have a recording studio on a spaceship. You know, especially a spaceship like that. And the music. And this is when I was in high school. Our math teacher told us one day, tomorrow, I I got to grade some papers, and I got to get it done so there won't be any regular classwork. We'll be going to, because our math teacher was also the music teacher. He led a double life, I guess. And his name was Mr. Wise. Funny guy, though he could pick on kids, which I didn't care for. But anyway, he said, bring something to listen to if you want to. So I said, okay. So I bought this. And I know one of the girls bought Foreigner Double Vision, which back then I didn't like Foreigner very much. I didn't get into Foreigner until Head Games. But she bought Double Vision, which I love today. But I bought this, and I know Mr. Wise kept looking over at it every once in a while. And so he goes, what do you think of this, Mr. Wise? Because I knew a lot of my classmates didn't like it. I knew that those who probably did like it weren't going to admit it, because for some reason, when you're a teenager and you like something different outside of the mainstream, you don't want to admit it, or because you're afraid people are like, oh, look at you. You like ELO. Don't you know that's so old? But one of the guys asked Mr. Wise that, and he goes, well, I've heard better. And I'm like, yeah, so like him. And it kind of stung, but we listened to it all the way through. And after, when the bell rung, I was getting my album, and he called me over. And he goes, who was that? I go, Electric Light Orchestra. He goes, Shook his head, and that's pretty good. So I kind of like to think, I don't know if he ever got the album, but I'd like to think that I turned on somebody to this album, to this band, this fantastic band. And what's strange is I was mainly into Kiss, but I heard this, and especially it sounds like Turn to Stone and Sweet Talking Woman, just what made me buy this album, other than plus the spaceship cover. Very special time in my life. I miss those days of discovery. I'm still discovering music, but back then, it's like it was just a little bit more special when you were young. And I remember when I discovered Pink Floyd, my mom's stereo at our house, a big console stereo, the record player, one side wouldn't play right, would go in and out. And my grandmother had a big console stereo. And if you know what a console stereo is, it's like a big wooden box. It had a lid on top you'd lift up, and there was the record player, the AM, FM radio, and if there's an 8-track, it was right there, or cassette, whatever. My mom's was 8-track, turntable, and radio. Same as my grandma was just turntable and radio. But like I say, the 8-track portion of my mom's stereo, excuse me, worked fine, and so the radio, but for some reason the turntable didn't. So I'd bring my records over, and we're in this room over here where she had her stereo right up against, and I'd put those on and come over and sit on the couch and just look at the album covers of Pink Floyd and ELO and all that, and just it was wonderful. It was a wonderful time of my life. Remember my grandmother coming in smiling at me and stuff, and asked me if I want something to drink, and I missed those times, and I'm so glad I have those in my memory. I'm so glad I have stuff like this in my life. So, anyway, little trip down memory lane there. So, anyway, little recap there. A number 1 album cover, Out of the Blue. Number 2, grab it here. Secret Messages. Oh, I remember when I first bought this on cassette. I was out at a friend's house out in Clearfield, Utah, and me and one of my friend's girlfriends, Denise, if you were watching this, hey, we went to. I was hungry and she was hungry, so we went to get something to eat. And I stopped at the store nearby I think it was a McDonald's or something, to get something else. I can't remember what it was, but of course I seen the record areas in the store, so I went over and checked out, and I saw this on cassette, and I thought, cool. So I grabbed it and threw it on, and of course, when we get back, everybody goes, "What took you so long?" And he goes, "We had to stop. We stopped at the store too." And so, "What'd you get there?" And well, Bart got this. Plus, he got a cassette. And my sister goes, "Oh, what'd you get?" And he goes, "Electric Light Orchestra." And my sister goes, "Good grief!" Because only I liked ELO in that group. I'm going, "Hey, I don't care. I like it. I'm going to buy it." So anyway, that's my number 2. Number 3, Face the Music. Number 4, El Dorado. Number 5, New World Record. Number 6, Time. Number 7, Time. I'm sorry. Yeah. Got those wrong there, but oh well. Number 8, ELO 2, Electric Light Orchestra 2. Number 9, Electric Light Orchestra or No Answer. Number 10, On the Third Day, which is actually the third album. Playing words there. And number 11, Balance of Power. There you have it, people. The covers ranked from best to worst, or best to least favorite. I wouldn't say worst, but hope you enjoyed that one. I just enjoyed going back to revisiting these bands, especially afterwards I end up listening to some of the albums. Every time I left, I watched Pete Pardo or somebody else do their show, rank the albums, or talk about different bands and different music. I go, God, I want to listen to that, God, I go grab, check this out, and blah, 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 whatever. It just gets me going. So, anyway, one of these days I'm going to rank Gentle Giant. In fact, I got 2 more albums on a single. Been getting these double collections, 2 CDs in one case. So I'm probably going to hold off doing Gentle Giant until I get all their discography. I'm having a little bit of trouble getting some of the albums. I think I still got 4 to get, but hopefully down the road we'll get it all. And then I can do a ranking. If I don't get them all soon, I'm leaning toward Labor Day weekend. Maybe doing a special. I'd like to do a live special one of these days, but we'll see. We'll see. So doing a pre-recorded thing like this. So anyway, hope everything's doing well wherever you're at. Trying to get back in the groove here, but a lot going on at the shop. Remodeling the place. Like I've said before in previous videos, we got sold to a different company and we're transitioning. And I'm doing some of the remodeling work. I don't know how I get dragged into that, but I don't know. I just like doing that kind of thing. I like doing it, but I don't like getting worn out. When I was younger, I had no problem, but now I do that and come home and I'm like achy and grouchy and stuff and don't want to do anything. So, oh well. So anyway, have a good week, good weekend, and maybe this weekend I'll do something else. We'll see. Got a lot of music here to go through. Things are starting to take shape here. Of course, we got all this stuff over here. A lot of papers down on this lower, but papers and magazines. I hate them because once you start going through them, you have to check out everything, especially magazines. Magazines are the worst because you start going through, oh, check this out. And before you know it, you spent half an hour looking through this one magazine and you haven't done anything else that you need to do. But it's just a magnet. Magazines are a magnet for curiosity. Even stuff, even magazines you've seen a dozen times, you've got to check out, So anyway, have a good weekend, and we'll see you when we see you.